We're with John Bokker, Spearfish High School head wrestling coach. And John, you just finished the state tournament and got some good news.
Yeah, we actually took 7 guys and placed 6 of them, so that's definitely good news. One of them was a state champ too.
Max Saylor?
Yep, he won it again. He won it last year at 132, and this year he took it at 138.
What did he do to earn that title?
He actually had to beat the guy that beat him 3 times. He was 28-3 with 3 losses to all the same guy, Declan Malone from Stevens, and we knew we'd probably be facing him in the finals, and he definitely had to step his game up for that. Declan usually is really aggressive, and Max had to turn that aggression on him.
From a coaching standpoint, when a guy has been beaten 3 times by the same guy, how do you get a guy ready for that?
We always say it's hard to beat the guy the 4th time, so it's kind of mentally taxing on the other guy because you got a little more pressure. With the guy that got beat 3 times, not quite as much pressure on him, but he knows that he definitely has to close that gap. We lost to him by 1 point the first time we wrestled him, and then the other times he beat us pretty good. So it was about our time to make that move.
How about the other guys?
At 106, Josh Hoffman, he wasn't even seated, and he ended up placing 8th there. So he did a great job. He actually pinned the number 4 guy in the blood round, we call it, before you get your chance to get knocked out or keep on rolling, and he pinned the number 4 guy. So he got in there and he did a great job. At 126, Clay Donovan placed 5th. Last year he took 8th there. He beat DeSursa, a guy from Sturgis who he lost to at Regions. He also beat a guy from Harrisburg that we lost to twice, and he beat him 7-1 this time. So he did great there, and he ended up taking 5th. Really put on a dominant showing there at state. He ran into Darian Malone, who took 3rd there, and I think the other guy he lost to actually I think he took 4th, so those 2 guys. Oakley Blakeman really stepped it up. He took 5th. He was seated 7th. He had to face the guy who took 2nd. And then the guy actually took 3rd. He lost to those 2 guys. So really tough competition. He faced the guy he faced in the first round, or for 5th and 6th, and he beat him a lot more handily than the first time. So I was happy with him. Then at 182, Derek Webster was our only guy that didn't place. He was actually an arm away from making it into. He had the guy on his hip, and all he had to do was get around his waist, and we lost by 1 point in that blood round. So he hasn't wrestled since 7th grade, so I'm really happy with his performance. I think he's going to make leaps and bounds next year getting back into wrestling. At 195, our senior Eli Zuniga, he placed 7th. Actually beat the guy who won the Rapid City Invite earlier this year for 7th and 8th from Brandon Valley, so that was a real good match for him. He actually got his 100th win this weekend too, so it's kind of a good way to cap off his senior season. Then Evan Hare, he was seated 30. We went up against the eventual champion. We had him on his back, but we were out of bounds. The Brandon Valley 8th grader at 220, he's really tough, and he ended up cradling us. And then I think he had kind of that senior hangover when you can't win it. Went out in his next match not quite mentally prepared. Lost a heartbreaker, but he came back and took 5th in that one. So he's a 3-time state placer, Evan Hare, at 220. And then obviously our champion at 138, Max Saylor, he did amazing. He had a pretty tough route there. It wasn't quite as easy as last year, so he battled his way all the way through, all the way to the championship.
John, before the state tournament, we talked to you and you said the kids are physically there, but you said you got to make sure that they remain mentally strong. What were you talking about?
We've been doing a Mindset Monday. We do mental training that we set goals and all that all through the year. And I thought we performed mentally. I thought we performed outstanding. We bounced back from early losses that would have taken a lot of people out, and we came back and we placed a lot of guys. So I think mentally we were definitely on top of our game at state.
So mentally is a big part of wrestling?
Oh, for sure. It's probably once you get to this part of the season, the end, it's about 90% mental, because you should be physically there.
When you have an athlete like Max, who was state champion last year and again this year, maybe there's not as much coaching there, but you see some kids that from day one this year that improved a lot?
Oh yeah, Josh Hoffman, he made leaps and bounds. He's a 16-year-old junior. He's very young, extremely intelligent. So that's why he's so young at that grade level. Also, Eli Zuniga made leaps and bounds. I thought Oakley Blakeman, he went on a tear there for a month that he didn't even get beat. Clay Donovan had his ups and downs, but he peaked right at the end of the season, as well as I think Evan Hare had a little bit of injuries at the end of the season that kind of hampered him. So, but I thought throughout the season we all pretty much progressed the way we needed to be.
Do you have anything coming up in the summer, like a camp?
We're gonna be bringing a camp here. We usually do with Frank Pavich. He brings some guys in. We also, like last year, we went to Las Vegas for a camp. We actually had New Mexico, Aztec New Mexico. They're the two-time defending state champ. They came up for a week here. They had a Hall of Fame coach, Herb Stinson, that taught us a lot of things while he was here. So we're planning on doing something interesting. We've gone down to New Mexico. We've gone over to Vegas. I was thinking maybe Idaho, maybe Iowa. We try to travel in the summer and do some fun things that gets us better at wrestling.
A great season, Coach, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get more next year, I promise.
You bet. All right, thanks.
Yep, thank you.